I'm WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Tito Santana.
This is Kurt Angle.
This is Bret the Hitman Hart, and this is going out to Scott and Holly.
You are listening to the
Win Twice Wrestling Podcast
with Scott and Holly.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
And this ho's for everybody. Ho!
Ladies and gentlemen, you are about to listen to the incomparable Win Twice Wrestling Podcast with your hosts, Scott and Holly. We always go over, brother, and that's the bottom line. Dig it? So, sit back, relax, and prepare to be entertained.
Hello everybody and welcome to episode number 32. Is this we're on now?
Gosh, we're getting closer to my age every day.
Yours and mine both. I was about to say 31, but it's because we're doing back-to-back recordings. It's a little bit throwing me for a loop. Mm-hmm. And this one, Holly, is a little bit different.
I know.
This one we didn't do any prep.
I'm so scared.
We're freeballing this.
I'm so scared.
As we said.
I like to be in control of a lot of things, as you know, in my life. So now to not be, I'm scared.
I'll tell you what. I'll help you out. I'll hold your hand through it. We'll be fine. We'll get through it. I say that we've done no preparation for this, but we have. It's just not fresh preparation.
We've marched through them.
We've marched through them and we did it in a uniform fashion.
We did.
As touched upon in the last episode, this episode is a bit of a recap.
Yes.
Bit of a revisit of our March Through The Manias series because we've already gone through 11 episodes up to this point.
Yes.
Forget about episode 11, WrestleMania 11 for now.
We'll come back to that at 20.
We will do. This is us looking back at the high points, the low points, and just the talking points in general from the first 10 WrestleManias. So I want to kind of set the scene a little bit here for you. We don't need to talk about what we've seen in the week of wrestling because we're recording this ahead of time. So, I can't believe that Darby Allin leapfrogged off Empire State Building and landed on a...
Have a guess. This is...
What happened?
So tonight, Clash at Castle. We haven't watched it yet. Have a little one-match prediction.
Okay. I'd like to congratulate Drew McIntyre for winning the WWE title.
Well done.
I'd like to congratulate Drew McIntyre for shitting the bed once again.
Well done.
So we can cut that. So we can cut that and work out whichever one it is, and then we can upload the right one so I look fucking genius.
Yes.
So we won't know what's going on in the world of wrestling, but that's not really what we're here for.
I don't anyway, regardless of whether we do it.
So let's go back.
Okay.
Let's go all the way back to the mid-80s. A time when neither one of us were alive.
What a simpler time.
A simpler time when we were but twinkles in our papa's eyes.
Ugh.
We'll leave that. It's approaching Father's Day. But...
Because a bad time for both of us.
Oh yeah, good shout. Yeah, fucking hell.
Me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Well,
it's Sunday.
Oh well, it is Sunday.
It's Sunday.
Well, we're recording this on Saturday.
It'll come out on a Sunday.
Unfortunately, I've got my grandpa, so he's my hero.
So sweet.
Make sure I visited him yesterday.
Oh.
Gave him a bottle of wine and a card, which
Love
I
that.
put to the side. I've always done that. Always did it for
my heart happy.
Oh, you got to show the people in your life that you love them. Otherwise, because you never know, the next day they might not be there, and you don't want to live with regrets.
Oh, stop it! Please stop being nice. I'm gonna cry.
Stop being nice.
Just carry on.
Is it weird if I
stop it?
Okay,
nice.
right. We won't do it here.
Very sweet.
We'll do it later. But let's go back to the mid-80s. WrestleMania 1. You have never seen a show this far back.
No, I hadn't. You've really fucking thrown me off.
Have I really?
Yeah, just keep talking, that'll be fun.
Okay, hang on. But yes, back to the topic du jour.
Yes, please.
WrestleMania 1. Mm-hmm. You hadn't seen any of the earlier WrestleManias.
Nada.
The earliest WrestleMania, if I'm guessing, you would have seen was WrestleMania 17 with TLC.
Yes.
So I don't think you've gone back before that time frame.
Of course not.
So you...
I might have now, but...
And I know you well enough to think that... Well, to know, in fact, that if something looks a bit old... Oh dear.
I do struggle, don't I?
You're not going to engage
Even
with
just
it.
normal TV shows.
So this was the first litmus test that we had on this show to see how you would fare with this. Because we'd covered... I think this was episode 10, the first ever WrestleMania we did. We'd covered shows before, but we'd never gone back this far. I don't think we'd barely gone into the 90s, potentially, if at all.
No, I don't think so.
So this was a real culture shock for you.
Yes.
What were you expecting? What did you have in your mind? And... Low expectations.
A low expectation because it's old. It's old, and like you said, that's my brain.
But I think this helped.
Yeah, it really did actually.
Because we got to the end of the show. We'll cover a few highlights and lowlights from it. We got to the end of the show, and you went, "Do you know what? That was all right."
Wasn't that bad? Yeah.
And that is like the second or third happiest I've ever been on the show to hear you say that.
Okay.
Because to me, that opened Pandora's box. That meant that nothing really, in terms of what we could cover, is off the table. You will like good things, whether they're good or bad, regardless of when they're from. So we're looking at the WrestleMania 1 card.
Okay.
We start off pretty strong. We get a friend of the show, Tito Santana, who told us everything about Shawn Michaels' booger at their match at WrestleMania 8, which is a great video.
That guy.
Great fucking video. Against the Executioner.
Yeah.
We had other, peaks and troughs. It wasn't all great.
No.
We had King Kong Bondi.
Bondi.
We had Moo Squasher Man. And then pin him for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
But
we had the first appearance of one of my favourite guys.
I was just about to get to the man himself. The man, the myth, the legend, Sir Lord Alfred Hayes.
Oh, that guy.
Sir Lord Alfred Hayes.
Oh,
Take the Sir out.
love
Lord Alfred
him.
Hayes. When you saw him on the screen, so Lord Al Hayes,
My heart.
he was stood in our way as wrestlers were coming backstage, awkward as fuck, looking around the room, wearing a lovely cream suit, as I remember. Cream tux, was it?
Like
Red
a
tie?
red tie?
Of course it was. He was there, and he just carried this show to levels which I wasn't fathoming.
Yeah.
And I gave you would say,
you giveth.
Lord Al
You
Hayes.
took him away, but you giveth in the first instance. That guy, honestly, my heart. Oh, so sweet.
And
so sweet.
And from there, it means that we have to find other shows which
please.
Lord Al features in.
Yes, please.
I gave you someone else on that show.
You did. Grenades everywhere.
Oh, you went straight to Brutus Beefcake.
Yes, I did.
Okay, fine.
Who else did you give me?
I gave you a bit of Jesse the Body Ventura.
Oh my god, this is when it started.
This is when the fascination with the flamboyant former governor of Minnesota,
God.
Jesse the Body Ventura,
My
came onto
heart.
our screens.
Come
I gave you a lot on the first show, didn't we?
Still my beating heart.
But from the overall, the card itself, there was, a lot of quick matches.
Yes, it was.
But the main event, Hulk Hogan,
Yes.
Mr. T, it's
Oh,
Paul
yeah, it was-
Orndorff and Roddy Piper.
It was that one, wasn't it?
You enjoyed it. And that wasn't just because Randy Orton's dad was on the outside, as I recall.
Give over. I didn't mind it, actually. Fine.
Because I thought you were really going to struggle with that.
Yeah, even when I'm looking back at my notes now we speak, and literally the note says, didn't hate it as much as I thought I would.
There you go.
Which for me is high praise indeed.
So, this is interesting because I've changed my note-taking style
Yes, you
since then.
have.
So
Retro into modern world.
Exactly. Yeah, quite thanks, Grandad. Talking to myself there, not Holly. So, yeah, this was very much still in the pen and paper note-taking era. And I'm just looking through some of the bits and pieces here. We did have another good match with Matt Bourne, future Doink the Clown, and Ricky Steamboat.
I literally just skimmed over that one and went, oh, yeah.
That was probably, in ring-wise, the best match of the night from memory. What else have we got on the card here? So
there was the $15,000 slam match.
Between Andre the Giant and Big John Studd. That was shit.
Yeah.
But the crowd loved them some Andre.
Didn't they?
Yeah?
Didn't they?
I think overall... Well, no, actually, before I can't go out of this show without touching upon this fella.
Okay.
Greg the Hammer Valentine. And his Timber Falls for days.
Sure.
Against Junkyard Dog.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Do you remember who was managing Greg Valentine?
Even if I scroll back, I still... Oh, please don't tell me it's the...
That's right, baby!
Yeah, because it fucking is.
Megaphone Man Jimmy Hart at ringside of Greg the Hammer Valentine.
He is Whistleman of Yonder Year.
Yonder Year.
Is that... I don't know if that's right.
No, we'll take it. We'll use that
Then we move
phrase.
into Whistleman, then I'll find someone else.
Fine.
That'll piss me off.
Also, one of the early... I say the early title match, tag team match. Got Iron Sheik, Nikolai Volkov.
Oh, yes.
Before he went to Turkey and got that hair transplant.
Wyndham and Rotunda.
Exactly, the US Express. We saw that. That was a bit of a nothing match because Iron Sheik, even at this age, looked like, let's not be wrestling. Very like he had a lot of back problems, is what I'm sensing with how upright he was. Because at first I was like, oh, that's good posture. And I went, oh no, you're just fucked. You can't move.
Yes.
Bless your cotton heart. But
gosh,
the main event.
Sure.
I thought the whole show you were going to struggle with.
Yes, me too. Let's be clear.
I didn't, but I did think you were going to.
Yeah.
And we get to the main event, and you're familiar with Roddy Piper, you're familiar with Hulk Hogan.
Yes. Didn't know Kendall.
Being Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff.
He does just remind me of a Kendall. Sorry, but he does.
Yeah, I mean, I get it to a point, but when I hear Kendall now, I think of Ryan Gosling. So
yeah, fair. Okay.
Very different.
Old school Kendall.
Old school Kendall. I saw him more as like action man with like a Beatles haircut.
Okay.
If we're like critiquing how the man looked.
Fair.
For a WrestleMania 1 main event, bearing in mind what WrestleMania would go on to become, do you think they could have put anything better forward?
Jesus.
Given what you had there, because you already had Andre, but he was face. You've got Hogan.
I mean, could have taken out Wonderful and Mr. T, but then I understand why they had Mr. T in there, because it was a pull for other eyes that wouldn't necessarily watch wrestling.
With the Rock and Wrestling connection, you're absolutely right. But
you.
Also, Piper wouldn't do the clean job to Hulk Hogan.
True.
So my thinking was, I would have thought you'd end with a WWF title match.
Yeah, true. But this just does start the whole Hogan. Yeah, exactly.
And that we see a lot of Hogan.
Don't we just?
I thought about something the other day,
Ooh, okay.
and this is kind of sad. So Hulk Hogan was in all first of the six. Sorry, let me put my teeth back in and use English sentences. Hogan, featured in like the first 8, 9 WrestleManias, 9 in fact. Although we'll get into 9 later on. In the first 6 of them, his opponent in all of those matches dead. Every single one of them. Orndorff, dead. Piper, dead. Bundy, dead. Andre, dead.
What are you trying to say?
Andre again, still dead. Savage, dead.
Oh, that's so sad.
Warrior, dead. He's the only one left from that era.
So sad.
Of like WrestleMania main events.
Bloody hell.
Mad, isn't it?
That is ridiculous.
How weird is it going to be when Hulk Hogan isn't around anymore?
Yeah, that is going to be an odd one.
That'll be shocking.
That'll hit, I think, that one.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that'll hit for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Whatever you think of the man.
Regardless.
If you're a wrestling fan.
Yeah, I think that'll hit.
I think so too. But not to end on too much of a sour note, because after this, Holly, we march into WrestleMania 2.
Oh, good-o.
So WrestleMania 2 didn't live up to what WrestleMania 1 delivered. I think that's fair to say.
Yes, fair.
3 arenas.
Yeah.
Across the United States, we've got West Coast, East Coast, and Central.
Yes.
Why?
I don't know.
The technical transitioning between the two. We did get some interesting bits and pieces on commentary, though.
Of course.
Lord Al got a little appearance behind the desk. We got Elvira, who said it was your spirit animal.
Yes, actually, I enjoyed her.
As Jesse Ventura was basically saying he wanted to smash one out on her tits, was basically the theme that he was going for most of it, while saying hello to Tyrell and Jade at home. And the main event.
Yeah.
Going from squash match at WrestleMania 1 against Special Delivery Jones, who we've all got fond memories of. King Kong Omelette, Moo Moo himself, steps up into that wonderful blue steel cage.
Yes, it was cage time, wasn't it?
And this will always be the first ever WWF World Title match at WrestleMania.
Okay.
Is it the most obvious blade job we've seen in any of these shows?
So far, yes.
To the point where
by far
Heenan is trying to cover the man who's clearly stabbing himself in the head.
I love that. It's ridiculous.
It's so over the top. The match itself is fine, actually. It's not nearly as bad as some of the other bits and pieces we see.
It's fine.
We got a good tag team title match. We see the British Bulldogs pick up the tag team titles with Ozzy Osbourne.
How do you remember this stuff?
British Bulldogs forever! As I recall him saying.
I'm scrolling, but it's... Yeah, we got that. Also, we were introduced to one of the guys that, I clung on to for a couple of WrestleManias, but he was already 3,000 years old by this point.
Was that the man, the myth, the legend himself, Hercules?
Yeah.
He hung around for a bit, to be fair.
He did, didn't he? He clung on for as long as he could.
He also dead, if we're going down this avenue.
So sad.
Like, I'd dread to actually look through the entire roster and see who's dead and alive. It would not be a pretty sight.
But it was him and Steamboat.
That was an alright match, actually, from memory.
Was
was in Los Angeles, I want to say.
I don't know.
I think that was at the final portion of the show. We also had, as well, still leaning into the heavily celebrity-themed extravaganzas.
Yes.
Mr. T, he came back. He had that wonderful match, the one that was rated -5 stars.
Is that the one we don't see?
We saw this
that
boxing match with Roddy Piper.
Oh yeah, that's absolute dog shite.
That,
That's
for me,
pointless. Wipe
is
that off the face of the earth.
potentially the worst match we've seen on this show. In fact, it is. But there was a close contender as well, and it was also this person's very first WrestleMania appearance. Macho Man Randy Savage defending the Intercontinental title against George the Animal Steel. You were so angry during this match. How angry were you during this match?
Stop. I love Randy.
You do, but how bad was this match?
This was wank.
This was doo-doo, it's fair to say. Hated every single thing about it.
So
Liz was
bad.
dressed nice.
Oh, stunning.
Yeah, dressed nice. Randy Savage, fine.
This was the start of convincing me round, because at this point I was like, no, don't like Savage. Absolutely not. Give it another couple of WrestleManias. I'm his fucking #1 biggest fan.
You are. You really are.
Freaking love him.
He's probably so far in the journey for you delivered more in terms of match quality than anyone else.
By far.
I'm trying to think who else has given us good moments there. Steamboat was solid for the ones he was in.
Good, but for me, he wasn't a grower.
Never asked him.
No, but do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, he was consistently...
You liked him from the start.
He's delivered consistently, whereas Savage, immediately I was like, I don't like him. Like, immediately I was like, no, not about this. And now, give it till now, freaking fangirling and watching old promos that he does just to make myself happy. Oh, I love that guy.
But this wasn't his show.
No, absolutely. It wasn't anyone's show.
True. Hogan came out looking alright, actually, at the end of it.
He always comes out looking alright.
No, not always.
Well,
not always. But that wasn't the only celebrity involvement on this. Sure. I mean, we bypassed the fact that, Wendy Richter was defending the women's title on the first WrestleMania, trying to regain the women's title with Cyndi Lauper in the corner. We'll bypass that and we'll go straight to the NFL and WWF Battle Royal.
Oh, God, that was this one, wasn't it?
Where we saw old Pretty Boy.
Chaos.
That football lad who came out looking like an absolute Chad. And you're like, he's one of me. He's a bit of me.
That's when I had to find something to entice me.
I was enjoying what Andre was bringing to the table. I don't know what you needed in...
The Bees were in that one, though.
The Killer Bees, yes. The Killer Bees were in that.
I remember them.
And I don't know if we'd had yet Moustache and Non-Moustached of the Rougeos.
I'm pretty sure.
They were around for... They were definitely in 3. I'm pretty sure they were in 3, but I don't know if they were in 2.
That was my takeaways from 2, I'll be honest. That was...
And also, in that WrestleMania match, Bret Hart. First time we see Bret Hart at a WrestleMania.
Didn't really shine too much.
But he was the last one to be eliminated by Andre the Giant when he lay on Andre's head.
Yeah.
And Andre just kind of dumped him out the top, pretty much. So we're starting to see some faces that at least you're familiar with.
Exactly.
You had Hulk Hogan and Piper was pretty much at 1, and then everyone else was like, what am I looking at here?
Yes.
Whereas, as we go on, we're now at the point in WrestleManias where pretty much, unless they're brand new, you're like, I know them, I've seen them, I recognise them.
I've seen them do 25 elbow drops,
But WrestleMania 2 was arguably the worst WrestleMania we've seen so far. We've got 3 contenders for me in this lot.
There's one for me that is the worst one so far. We're not there yet.
Are we near to it?
Maybe.
Okay.
It's either the next one or the one after.
It's not WrestleMania 3, I'll tell you that for free.
Then it must be number 4.
Speaking of WrestleMania 3, let's go there now.
Sure.
From the doldrums of WrestleMania 2, I think, safe to say we take a bit of an upswing here, coming into WrestleMania 3.
It could have been much worse.
Well, but it can, and we will get to a bit worse in a moment. But WrestleMania 3, they're in the Pontiac Silverdome. It's a big venue. It feels big time. You see the sea of people for this show, and it feels like this is a WrestleMania surrounding an environment that I'm comfortable with, that I'm familiar with.
And we had a big ass singer as well.
Aretha Franklin.
Bloody hell. Yeah.
Although she did look digitally imposed. She wasn't,
well, no,
but she did, didn't
look
she?
Like it could be a green screen.
And she had a little security team round her just in case any of the people get a bit handsy. But this show had a few matches that stick out in the memory for me. Yeah. Like, without even looking through my notes, which I did to just, make sure that I was on point with it. There are certain matches on here that you go, Oh yeah, okay, that wasn't bad.
You remembered enjoying?
Yeah, so we've got, the British Bulldogs,
Yeah.
Tito Santana, taking on the Hart Foundation and Dangerous Danny Davis.
Yes.
Wouldn't have thought a referee would have been in a good match.
No, but it was actually quite alright.
But I think, to be fair, we could have taken out Danny Davis, we could have taken out
sure.
Tito Santana, as much as, friend of the show Tito, take him out the match and just give us the Hart Foundation and the Bulldogs, and we would have been very happy.
I'd have been a happy girl.
With that. Mm-hmm. We get Jake the Snake, who became a slow burner as well, I think, a little bit.
Did become a slow burn.
With Honky Tonk Man, who immediately you liked because of the gimmick.
I did, but also, it's enough. I think it's because he became very similar to me for Greg Valentine. Once you've seen him once, you've seen him every time.
You must have shit yourself when you saw Rhythm and Blues tagged to him later
so
up.
So fucking funny.
Oh god!
But to me, once you've seen either of those wrestle once, you've seen them every time because it's the same moves.
But a lot of them do the same moves.
I know.
Ric Flair does the same moves, but he does it fucking excellently.
I've only watched him like once or twice in this little series.
We've seen him,
and that's not in Mania, is it? There's only one Mania. And one alternate show.
Yes.
So I've not seen too much of him yet. That's why I got bored of Hulk towards the end.
You've seen him in
it's
3.
The same fucking shit.
Didn't we have Ric Flair and Eddie Guerrero? Ric Flair and Eddie Guerrero, I'm pretty sure, was a match at, I want to say, it wasn't King of the Ring. Or maybe it was King of the Ring.
I don't remember.
But we saw that. We saw him against Sting on the debut episode of Nitro, and we saw him against Savage. So I think we've had 3. We've had him as the referee in a match. We have him refereeing a match.
Yes.
But
yes,
there are 2 matches on this card.
Okay.
That stand head and shoulders above the other. One for importance and one for in-ring quality.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do what I consider to be the lesser of the 2 matches, just because I'm more of an in-ring focus.
Okay.
In terms of what I like. Main event: Hulk Hogan going against his longtime friend Andre the Giant for the WWF title.
Mm-hmm.
This felt massive.
Did it?
This didn't feel massive to you?
Not to me, because I don't. The history's not there for me, is it?
Well, it's not there for me because I wasn't, knocking around
it didn't. I don't know. I
just felt like everything.
I think I'm too cynical for stuff like that.
Yeah, maybe. It's the histrionics. It's such an iconic moment. It is the biggest match they could have put together. Not quality, but in terms of get the 2 biggest names in wrestling at this time.
Yeah,
now,
that makes sense.
Done. The match wasn't great. It's as good as you're ever going to get out of Andre at this point in his career.
Yeah.
But that wasn't, to me, that wasn't the match of the night. That's not the one that people left talking about.
Oh, okay.
Having absolutely and unquestionably shit the bed at WrestleMania 2.
Yeah.
Your boy Randy Savage comes back fucking strong, ready to go hard. He defends the Intercontinental title against Ricky the Dragon Steamboat in an instant classic.
Yes. Without a doubt.
Great match.
Without a doubt.
To this point, I'm willing to bet your favourite match of WrestleMania.
So far, yeah.
Up to this point.
Yes, for sure.
So Randy Savage...
By a fucking mile.
So he's gone from pretty much the second worst match we saw at WrestleMania to the best.
He's starting to... At this point, he started to push into my sort of... Oh, okay.
So he hadn't won you over yet.
No.
I'm assuming it's WrestleMania 4.
Of course it is.
Which is a show that you hate.
Yes. Yes.
And he won you over in the show you hate.
Yes.
Well, I think let's not waste any further time and let's dive straight into WrestleMania 4 with that being the case. Now, not only did we already kind of give away that WrestleMania 4 to us and to most people was unmitigated shit, this show didn't just take. It gave a little bit of something for Holly.
It sprinkled a little
something. It salt bayed a little bit of...
it did, actually, yeah.
Of things in here because you found your love for Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yes.
Talk to me. What was it in this show that had you... That's completely swung you around on the Macho Man?
I'll be honest as well, though, and this probably sounds really harsh, but because everything else was so bad... He just stands out, and I think actually at this point I kind of ignored all the... you read stupid stories about people, and whether they're true or not, that's not what I'm here for.
Yep.
I'm just here to look at what I'm looking at and take it at face value.
Okay.
And do you know what? He's hilarious without knowing it. I love his fucking promos. He's not bad on the eyes either.
Okay.
And you know what? I will happily watch his wrestling.
It's because he looks like a man, doesn't it?
He is a man.
It's because he looks like a man. It's the
He's
beard,
a man.
the bald spot probably.
Yeah,
It's all,
fine.
It's all working for
It's
the man
he's-
category.
It sounds so dumb to say, but especially in an, I don't know, this is going to sound so rude, but I'm no oil painting, but in an era around here where you're either just tall and potato-like,
Moo Moo taking shots again.
but you know what I mean, or you are Rick Rude. Like there's no, like, and Rick Rude, God, give him his due. Sweet Jesus, you could grate cheese on his abs.
Yep.
Not for me, at all. So personal preference to me is you've got a man. He looks like a man.
Fair enough.
I hope that explains it. That's not just why I just started to be won round by him.
Because I remember you very much upsetting editor Jamie by saying, coming out with his poodle-like hair. Sorry, I just punched the microphone there, but I was just so outraged with the fact that I thought Rick Rude was going to be a surefire hit. However, in the tournament, he stunk up the bed with Jake Roberts, and that's a match that everyone at the time would have been looking forward to.
Mm-hmm.
To really, really outstanding performance at what they do. And because of that time limit that they had to get to, it just did not work.
No.
It didn't work at all.
But then those two again, didn't they, in one of my least favourite matches of life?
Did they?
Did they?
This was your least favourite match in life. This is the
hang on.
one. This is the
the
time
one?
limit draw.
Is this the blindfold one?
No. Rick Rude wasn't in that.
Who was that then?
Rick the Model Martel.
Oh, they're the same person.
We'll get to that.
honestly.
WrestleMania 7. Stop
Same
jumping
fucking
ahead.
person.
Speaking of jumping ahead, Holly, let's jump back actually, because there's one thing
Yes,
that I didn't
please
give
do.
Moo Moo enough credit for in WrestleMania 3, and that is crushing Little Beaver. And that isn't my way of saying he slayed some poontang. I'm saying that there was a little wrestler that he squashed in WrestleMania 3. And I don't feel like that gets enough
Yeah, I'd forgotten about that.
verbiage, to be honest. That needs to be accounted for and archived accordingly at WrestleMania 3. We can now come back to WrestleMania 4.
Okay.
And one thing that we learn very much about what Holly likes and doesn't like in a show is she doesn't want to see the same motherfucker 4 times in a show.
No,
she just doesn't want to see him.
I don't like
Randy
talking about
Savage was
myself
pushing it.
in the third person, but she doesn't.
Randy Savage barely made the cut off for that.
Yeah, it was. And I'd started to like him by this point. But if I've seen you once, that's fine. Twice, okay. We're done now. We're done.
I think the person that Holly was ready to have a full-on fight with, full-on fisticuffs, was Greg Valentine, who was on this show a lot. And the more
about 25 times.
And that was just the number of elbows he threw in one of the matches he was
I'm so
in.
sorry. I feel so bad, but he really pissed me off.
I was enjoying Greg Valentine, but this really tested me as well for his involvement.
I don't need to see someone that much.
Also on this card, we had the rematch of Andre and Hogan, which was just an absolute schmoz pile of wank, which built up to what would eventually be the tournament final. This is also the first time, not as well as just seeing Rick Rude, but seeing the Ultimate Warrior on a WrestleMania card as he went one-on-one with Hercules.
Oh my god.
Battle of the Bodies.
My god.
Battle of the Bodies.
Yeah,
that was shit as well.
Gosh, honestly.
Not a lot of good matches on this show. There was a battle royal at the beginning as well.
Chaos.
We see, the best named manager of all time in Sir Oliver Humperdinck, who came out managing the Beast from the East, Bam Bam Bigelow, who was making his WrestleMania debut as well.
Yeah.
That match with him and One Man Gang.
Honestly.
Who would later become, obviously, in this WrestleMania journey, Akeem the African Dream.
Of course.
Give me One Man Gang.
Yes.
Give me One Man Gang.
Worked so well.
Well, he wasn't a good worker. But
no, but do you know what I mean? That gimmick
was...
exactly, that gimmick for me worked a little bit better.
This, from memory, I'm trying to go back through the mental archives to see how I felt in terms of, was I happy doing this show? And halfway through, I was genuinely in a very dark place. Mm-hmm. Watching this, doing the notes.
I remember having to do this in a lot of sections.
I think I did this in 5, and bearing in mind this is still my pen and paper era, this took me 5 goes to watch, and I remember one of them I started, because I think I was off on annual leave that week, and one of them took me from 9 till 6, and I got
longer
through
than my working day.
and I'd got through an hour and a half of the show. and I was
Christ.
livid. This, for me,
Yeah.
I agree, was worse than WrestleMania 2. Was it the worst of the journey so far? Let's get to later on towards the tail end of this.
Okay.
And I might have another contender that might unseat, dethrone WrestleMania 4 as being the worst.
We'll see.
But now,
let's leap over.
WrestleMania 5. For the first time in WrestleMania history, they've gone back to the same venue.
Yes.
Back in New Jersey, back in allegedly Trump Plaza, which it isn't Trump Plaza. And on paper, they have a really, really good main event.
They do.
Looking back at the rest of the card, it's not great. It's really not great. We get, Andre the Giant, Jake Roberts in a match where Andre's just like, no, I can't do this anymore. Jake Roberts was being dealt shit hand after shit hand at WrestleMania, and he's not done yet with the shit hands, to be honest with him.
Is he?
Bless him. We've got, I want to say, a song. Is it a song? It's Run DMC. It's the WrestleMania rap.
Yeah, okay.
Did this give you the feels?
No.
Looking back on your notes, thinking about this?
No, just makes me angry.
We also get what, again, on paper should be good, but I didn't enjoy it. I think you enjoyed it a bit more than me from memory. Was Mr. Perfect and the Blue Blazer.
Of course I did, because you gave me a challenge to watch it to work out who it was.
I'm still annoyed that you got
it right.
Still annoyed that you got that right, by the way.
So it makes me happy.
This was also the very first WrestleMania appearance for the future Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, one half of the Rockers.
Freaking love the Rockers.
Against the Twin Towers in Akeem and Big Boss Man. And this was a good match, I remember.
Happy girl lovers.
I thought this was a decent match.
Very much so, enjoyed that actually.
From memory. We had Brutus going up against Ted DiBiase, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
You always loved
I love
Brutus. I struggle. I don't get the appeal.
I just
Brutus.
like what he's wearing, I'll be honest. I don't need to see him wrestle. I just want to be nosy and see what his gear looks like.
Just have him be the ref then.
I just don't need to see him wrestle. Just come out, show me what you're wearing, and off we go.
Just do a backstage segment.
Love
then.
it.
Don't need to come out at all.
Absolutely love it.
This also had one of the worst matches for me that we saw at a WrestleMania. It was painful.
Okay.
The Rougeaus against the Bushwhackers.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy it at all. It was awful.
Hell.
The Bushwhackers in general, just not for me.
But it did give us, the Bushwhackers did give us something on the show, and that was their interactions at the bullshit brunch or whatever it was called with Lord Al Hayes.
Yes.
Who also was doing some lovely punditry work for the 5k run that Mr. Fuji allegedly did very well in.
Very quickly
the
in
man
his suit.
Can't bend his fucking knees, but yet he ran a 5k in 19 minutes, was it?
I love it.
Yeah, okay, sure.
So funny.
Speaking of Fuji, he was in the corner of the Powers of Pain as they went up against Demolition. That was shit as well. That I feel like that could have been not there, and I'd have been happier with it. But really, what everyone came for at WrestleMania 5, quite literally, was Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage. The mega powers explode. Oh. At this point, you already had said that, you know, you loved the Hogan, the whole shtick, the music, the entrance.
I did. I still
the theatrics. But you were in the corner of Savage up until a particular moment in this match. What made you decide to go all in with Savage and forsake our Lord and Saviour Hulk Hogan?
Stop it. Stop. Oh, I don't know. He just had a little pull on him, and no, don't make it weird.
I'm not saying anything.
I think it's the theatrics behind it. It's the story behind it, which sounds ridiculous because I know it's not real, but it is the story behind it, and also I was getting a little bit tired.
You're getting tired of the Hulk Hogan shtick?
A little bit.
We couldn't escape him.
But I still love the no.
At this time, it might have been a couple shows later to be fair, but even the shows we were picking outside of the early WrestleManias had Hulk Hogan in.
I know, I picked one and I screwed up her big time.
One?
Well, yes.
You picked up the one with Kurt Angle, and then you picked up the one with him main eventing with Triple H. We could not escape Hulk Hogan. We've had a break from him now.
Yes.
Haven't had him on a few shows. But Randy Savage lost you at one point in this match. Do you remember the moment?
No, you have to remind me, because my notes are not
If
here.
I come over there now and grab you by the chin...
Oh, yes. Yeah, leave Elizabeth alone.
Leave that queen be.
I did get a bit irate then.
Because I just remember as we were talking about it, I saw
manhandle your woman.
your back went up about it.
Yeah.
You got your hackles up. You're ready to go. And then you were maybe coming back Hulk Hogan's way for this match.
Don't lay hands on your woman.
I agree. That's
Big
poor
thing.
form. Poor form. Even if it is a little chin squeeze, but it looked.
Looks
It
rough.
annoyed me.
Yeah.
It annoyed me. So I get it.
I did dwindle then. I was a bit like, oh no. He does come back very much so fighting force in a couple more.
The match was fine though.
Yeah, it was fine.
So granted,
Right.
WrestleMania 4, we saw him 4 times. There wasn't like a standout match really there for him, but there was nothing completely awful that he had either. I mean, One Man Gang was not really a match from memory.
No.
This match was decent. So
Yes.
he's 2 for 4, which is a pretty good batting average given this time of WrestleMania.
Exactly.
We haven't seen the best of Savage yet. You could argue that WrestleMania 3 was potentially his crowning moment in terms of WrestleMania performances, but you disagree with that. We're not getting to the one where you really strongly disagree with it just yet,
Okay.
but we're not too far off. He's still got a few more appearances under his I was about to say under his belt, but he's still got a few more in the locker that he's not yet gotten out of. But once again, we finished WrestleMania 5 with all things Americana, Hulk Hogan lifting the title, walking out into the sunset as the champion, and quite frankly, I was really happy that we weren't going to have to go back to the same venue again for WrestleMania, because it lost something for me doing that.
Yeah.
And WrestleMania 4 wasn't a good one. So they had like that bad show to then go back there the next year. So I still felt like, because we saw it 2 weeks apart, they had a year between the events. It was still fresh in the memory for me. And I felt like that, was a bit of a dampener, to be honest.
Yeah, it did.
Before we jump into the following WrestleMania,
Sure.
we got wet-haired Rick Rude, was it?
Oh, yeah.
In this one?
Yeah, we did.
Intercontinental title match with Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah.
Not a bad match from what I remember. However, do you remember how the match ended?
No, I just remember he had wet hair.
When Heenan grabbed the ankle of Warrior, Warrior fell back,
Oh.
nearly kind of dropped Rude on his dome,
Oh, God.
and then Rick Rude stayed there to make the cover, got the 3. No,
Oh, honestly.
because I remember you were like
Yeah, no, yeah.
touching your neck
Yeah.
as that part of the
don't
match
like
got there.
that. No, thank you.
Overall, as a WrestleMania, because we've seen the 2 bad ones of 2 and 4, I assume 5, you felt like we were potentially going in a more positive direction?
Yes, I felt like there was a build-up, potentially. But I always like to keep my expectations low, because who knows what's coming next.
Well, I'll tell you what was coming next. WrestleMania 6. And much like how we went from, the 3 arenas in WrestleMania 2 to the Pontiac Silverdome for WrestleMania 3, we go from the Boardwalk Hall in New Jersey to the Toronto Skydome. We've got another big main event, title versus title. The parameters have changed. We've not seen that before at
No, we
WrestleMania.
haven't.
We've got the Ultimate Warrior
Oh.
against Hulk Hogan.
Yes.
Is this the pinnacle clash of the 2 heavy hitters from this era?
This was a battle. I always like to choose mentally one person to back. This was a struggle.
Who did you go with? Because I don't remember.
I don't remember. Honestly, I don't remember. But I think in
Oh,
my
you
head,
went
I
Hogan.
think I went... Yeah, I think I did.
You went Hogan because I remember going, well, I'll take Warrior because he was my favourite as a kid.
Uh-huh.
And the match over-delivered, to be honest. There was a lot of continual struggle spots, shall we call it?
This was the one where you do something, I'm going to do something.
Yes.
That one, back and forth. And it was
Yes.
you're going to get on your knees and take your last breath, isn't it? It was this one.
Breathe your last breath into my body.
Thank you. Thank you.
But it wasn't as good as honestly, that Warrior promo lives rent-free in my head. Just the way he goes, "You are not a normal," and then shoves fucking the interviewer out of the way. Sean Mooney, sorry, I gave him no credit there, the interviewer. And yeah, we do see it. There's a camera angle as well, which definitely looks like Ultimate Warrior is giving Hulk Hogan
Knock
a
it
little
off.
noshy noo-noo.
Yeah, knock it off.
Which, whatever. I mean, if that
Why
adds a
not?
star rating to it, they call it a job after all. And he did.
They do call it a job for a
and
reason.
He didn't do the job in that match. He actually came out victorious.
Yes.
Although that isn't the parting memory we have from that show. It's Hulk Hogan with the "Why, brother?" face, taking the belt, going into the ring, giving it to him, going off on those motorised rings.
Oh, God, yes.
Looking sad, like a puppy dog that's been kicked.
Boo you. Bore off.
Wasn't your moment.
No.
Wasn't your moment, Hulk. Again, not the only time that he would steal the spotlight in this WrestleMania journey.
I mean, does he ever not?
Well, that's a fair point. Elsewhere on the card, there are a few things that, piqued the old Holly interest. We got the Rockers again.
Oh, I do love them.
Against the Orient Express.
Yes.
In one of the dumbest finishes maybe we've seen in WrestleMania, where Marty's had salt thrown in his eye, which is just a weapon in Japan,
so
is what we've learned.
Ridiculous.
If nothing else about the Japanese wrestlers we've learned, salt is deadly.
Mm-hmm.
Marty Jannetty stumbling around. Sean goes, "You alright?" As he stumbles over the barricade, ends up in the fans count out. The fuck are you doing? Absolute garbage.
I forgot about that. That was too funny.
But
now I look at it and laugh. Back then, I was like, "This is really annoying."
But there was a lot of dross as well. Coco Beware, Rick Martel.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rick Rude. We'll go with because same person.
They're
and
basically the same.
Colossal Connection. This was Andre's swan song in-ring performance at WrestleMania.
Was
Teaming alongside Haku against Demolition.
Yeah.
Reigning tag team champion. Haku did 95% of the work in this match.
Of course.
Like an absolute soldier.
Trojan.
Demolition. Well, you might have had one of them. Demolition walk out with 3-time tag team champions, which I think was the first time in WWF history that had been achieved by old Kenneth Williams' face. So that's good. That's his career done, by the way, because Repo Man, I mean, we're not touching those levels again, are we? No. We get Hercules and Earthquake. Earthquake appearing.
Hercules is still here, 4,000 years old by this point.
4003. No, 2004. We're exaggerating his age a little bit there. But he gets absolutely diddled by Earthquake in this match.
Yeah, my notes, the ones I'm looking at, literally say, "Oh, poor Hercules."
But he got up on his own strength and walked out.
Poor guy.
That was the takeaway from this one. We see a non-match with the Hart Foundation just crushing the Bolsheviks in about 4.5 seconds, which I refuse to grade from memory.
Of course.
And there was a match actually that was surprisingly okay, I thought. And that sounds like a weird, not quite a compliment. And sorry, I'm not telling you a background story. You don't need to yawn now.
Sorry.
Was Barbarian against Tito Santana.
Okay.
I remember thinking that was all right. And I remember that got absolutely shat on by Dave and being surprised. But I don't know, there's something about, as well, Barbarian going to the top rope and hitting a flying clothesline, which I thought was just impressive for a dude of that size.
Yes, okay.
Sadly, it didn't just give, though. Because we get Dusty Rhodes in his only WrestleMania match.
Yes, this is also the only time I've seen him wrestle.
Oh, yeah, shit.
Yeah.
The American Dream tag teaming alongside Sweet Sapphire to take on Macho King, Randy Savage, and Queen Sherry.
Made me so sad. So
Sherry
sad.
takes a bump, doesn't she?
Doesn't she? One or two.
She gets Savage thrown into her about 3 times, I think, in this match.
Yes, savaged.
And she does, and she would. And it was, I remember one particular moment in that where Dusty Rhodes just went, "Grab that bitch." Just points at her.
Are you just continuously going to do the impression?
Yes, baby.
I love it.
And I just thought it's just picked up on camera, and I just thought, yeah, fuck it, why not?
Yeah.
Not a good match. And Savage has gone from, "Oh, you were doing quite well," to, "Oh,
honestly,
God."
for me as well, personally, I was like, "Oh, awesome," and then I watch it and go, "Brilliant, great."
He was having a decent run of matches. He swings it back round. His next
he does
2, very good. Third one, you go, "That's all right." But the next 2,
I was invested by that point actually. So
the next 2 premium. At this point, I still think the highest scoring match that either one of us had was WrestleMania 3, Savage and Steamboat. I don't think anything had eclipsed that just yet.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually.
That will change. I know for a fact from both of us it will change.
Yeah.
Mine changes slightly before yours does.
Yeah, mine takes a little while to
it warms up the engine a little bit, make sure everything's...
I'm a slow burn.
Don't tell me about it. But now, this is a key moment for me in the WrestleMania journey.
Okay.
As we go into WrestleMania 7. Now, I know I covered it extensively when we did the recording, but this was the first WrestleMania I remember owning on VHS.
Retro.
Lovely bit of Silvervision was the VHS cassette.
Yeah, nice.
Did you ever have any Silvervision? Oh no, you did the taping it over the back fence job.
Over a fence.
Yeah, over fence indeed. And for me, I watched this show. God, I dread to think how many times I watched it. Maybe, probably talking 50 plus. Like that tape was worn thin, and I didn't really need to look through my notes to remember a lot of this. But let's touch upon a few things that I think you'll be interested to. What do you think about full kit wanker Willie Nelson doing America the Beautiful?
Don't diss Willie Nelson. I love him.
I'm not saying I dislike Willie Nelson.
Legend.
Was he not a full kit wanker?
Absolute legend.
Was
Do you not
he?
think that they just said to him, "Take what you want. Take what
He
you
took
want.
fucking liberties.
And wear it." And he just took it all. Why wouldn't you?
Can we just get? I just
Legend.
want to hear you say he was a full kit wanker on that night.
He was a full kit wanker.
Thank you very much. I'm not saying anything
fucking
about
legend.
his music abilities because I enjoyed the singing as well on
Good.
this one.
I'm glad.
WrestleMania 7 had some interesting matches, shall we say? None more interesting than the blindfold match between Jake
Shoot
L.
me.
Snake
El
Roberts
Snake.
against Rick Martel. And as you put
Yes.
him in the notes, what was it? Boo!
Ooh.
Because he turned on our boy in his Strike Force days.
You did.
Was it the Brainbusters, I believe, that they went up against? We were very saddened by that.
Devastated.
But we were probably more saddened with the blindfold match. Now, was the match good? No. Did Jake Roberts play his part well? Yeah. This was a stellar performance with the hushing of the crowd to point, bit of, pantomime.
Yeah.
Like, no,
I don't like it.
no.
But that's just me.
Just
I
looking at
get
something
it.
I can throw. That's fine. But no, it's
No,
fine.
I do get it, and it does work with the crowd. It's just me personally. Nah.
The match, not the match, but the show started off with a pretty strong note there because we've got the Rockers
Yes.
against Haku and Barbarian.
Happy
And
girl.
this is the first time the Rockers had won in WrestleMania as well, I believe. Because they'd been beaten by the Orient Express thanks to that cursed salt. And the Twin Towers, I think, had done them in the WrestleMania before as well. So on their winning train, I remember Shawn Michaels looking very unhappy at having won this match. Scored quite highly from recollection.
Actually, I gave it a 3 out of 5.
But there was a match that you gave an even higher rating to later on in the card.
Pulled on my heartstrings, that's why.
And what was that match?
That, my friend, was... Let me keep scrolling so I make
She
sure...
knows what it was.
I know what it is, but I doubt myself. And it wasn't even the end, was it? It was like randomly right in the middle.
It was.
Obviously, it was Savage. And Ultimate Warrior.
In Randy Savage retirement match.
Career-ending match, wasn't it?
It was indeed.
Oh.
And I obviously elucidated as to why
Yes.
that was a retirement match, even though it wasn't a retirement match in any capacity.
No.
But, as you said, it told a really good story.
I absolutely loved this from start to finish.
Elizabeth was in the crowd.
This hooked me, hook, line and fucking sinker, and this was it. Savage through and through from this point.
There you go. And it was in a losing effort, but he won the hearts of fans everywhere. Women in the crowd were crying.
Yeah.
When he picked... Did you shed a tear?
No.
Oh,
I'm made
nearly.
of fucking stone, absolutely
You're
not.
far from made from stone, but I thought there might be a little...
No,
little
I just liked it. It was very good theatrics.
It was really good. It was a very good match. So Warrior showed that he can actually have good matches. Yes. It needs to be with the right opponent. I thought the one with Hogan was pretty good, but this was so good.
So good.
So good.
Brilliant.
It was a long match, very long match.
Yeah, fine.
But it works.
You know what? I'm fine about it.
Took you on a journey. At no point did it leave you bored or going, hurry this up, lads.
My only fear, I think, on this one was that this peaked me so high.
Yep.
That then the rest was...
Because, it was midway through the show.
Yeah.
Like, we had other
This is at the
matches
end.
on there. I remember being really impressed with the British Bulldog at this time.
Okay.
Just because he was jacked. Going up against an even more jacked Warlord, Phantom of the Opera. The match wasn't good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always about breaking full Nelsons. We've learnt that.
Yeah, of course it is.
But the main event of the night, which was mooted originally to be Ultimate Warrior and Hogan again, but it wasn't. And if you remember, they were going to have this in the LA Coliseum. And they decided to go with the smaller arena across the road and claimed it was due to, potential terrorist acts.
Safety first.
But it was just because they could not sell the tickets. Yes. And they ended up where they did with the main event of Sergeant Slaughter, who'd unseated the Ultimate Warrior at the Royal Rumble, defending his title against Hulk Hogan in the main event.
Yes.
Do you remember the padded chair shot?
God.
Where they had literally a padded chair that was folded up to smack in the head.
So stupid.
I don't know if that's the one he bladed off, but Hogan did blade in that match. He also tore a flag up. Naughty, naughty.
Oh, shit, yes.
Yeah. The match wasn't great. Sergeant Slaughter, actually, not a bad seller, to be fair, for a man of his age and size. I remember him bouncing around like an absolute nutter.
Yeah.
Wasn't the best match. Like you said, the best match of the night was the retirement match, but you can't finish with that.
Exactly.
Wait, no, sorry.
You could, actually.
You could finish with that, because it sends the fans home happy.
But it's because they've got fucking Hogan again, so they just want to put him fucking last. Which I understand from a business point of view.
Do you think Hogan was going to let anyone else go on after him?
No, but from a watching point of view, I watched this and I went, okay, cool.
Then you were kind of,
really give a shit. Like,
I think, again, at that point, you were ready for the show to end.
Oh, of course I was.
Where it ranked overall for you, I don't quite recall, if I'm being honest. I'm trying to remember at this point which was some of your highest rated shows. I think
I did give this 6.5 out of 10, which is fairly high.
So it was one of the higher ones.
And I know and I've even put underneath it, this is pulling a lot of points here from Savage and Warrior.
Yeah, I think the one before that came okay-ish was 3 and maybe a bit of 5. But 7, I think, was your highest score.
Yes, by far.
For me, like I said, it had that emotional attachment because of my childhood, etc. Because, not to pull on your heartstrings again, but I didn't have friends, but I had to entertain myself. And it's not a shot at my mum or anything, but I literally had to, like, the things I would do. I was telling, I think it was, who was it the other day? It was someone in the office. I was telling one of my friends about a game I used to play as a kid, and as I was explaining it, I was like, you're so fucking sad. Like, I just felt embarrassed to tell them this story that I did. And I'll tell, actually, it's a bit of a segue, but I'll tell you now. And it involves, it's so sad, but I want to see your face. So it's like, okay, cricket. A lot of our international listeners will not be familiar with the sport of cricket. I won't go into the rules of it. You don't really need to know that for the sake of this story. I remember going out to Epsom and buying myself a book which had the list. It's the county cricket players book, so it had everyone who played for each team. And I was like, oh, okay, so I need a game that's going to take up a lot of time because I need to fill a lot of time being an only child. And I'm not doing a woe is me story. No. This is just what I try to do to fill the time in. Probably why I'm fairly creative as, an individual. And so sad. Based on how good I knew the batter was, I would cut up, so I'd get a pad of paper like this. I'd write down like a load of 1s and 0s, 2s, 3s, 4s and 6s. But the higher the number got, the less of them I'd have, depending on how good the cricket player was. Okay. I'd cut them up, fold them up, put them in a bag or like a pot or whatever it was. And then I'd imagine it was a cricket game and I'd have, this batter's up. Oh, okay, it's bowl to him. He gets... run on that.
Pull it out of the
then
bowl.
I'd fold it back up, put it back in, mix it back up. And depending on how good or bad the batter was, I'd put like outs and like and I just remember telling someone this story, and they looked at me like, "You fucking pathetic human being," and I was just like, "I wish I hadn't started this story," and I felt so self-conscious.
Yeah, but if you enjoyed doing that,
I don't remember doing it that much, but I remember at the time thinking, "This is genius." Like I was. How old would I have been?
Especially as an only child.
12?
That's hard. Like
11, 12?
Being an only child is hard. I mean, I was one for quite a long time.
Simpler times.
Yes. I love my sister, but yes. So I do get it. Like, but you have to make this shit up to entertain yourself.
And to be fair, a lot of the time when I was of that age, I was playing outside anyway. Yeah, exactly. It was like rounders or cricket, football, whatever it was. 40-40, hide and seek, all that good shit. Seeker. But I just remember telling that story recently, and I was like, I should think about what I'm sharing with who, because I did not come out of that feeling good. And they did nothing wrong. It was just their face looking at me like, what the fuck are you telling me?
I just didn't understand.
But this holds, and the way I'm linking that to this is that this was a go-to for me. Yeah. Around the same time. Now, I had this earlier, but it was the same thing. It was, you'd go back to it, it'd eat 3 hours of your life.
Exactly.
Up. You knew what was coming. You knew the good guy was going to win, and you were going to go home happy, even though I was already home.
Yeah.
Perfect. Watching it back in hindsight, less good, but it's still going to hold that special place in my heart.
Of course it does.
And from there we go to another WrestleMania.
Ooh.
But funny enough, that, isn't it, on this
shocking,
little WrestleMania recap. And it's got another match that you rated quite highly. So with this journey, we've seen a lot of dross in terms of matches.
We have.
But we have seen a few diamonds in the rough. And WrestleMania 8, we've got slightly differing opinions on in terms of the actual quality of this particular match. There was a match on this card I really liked, but it's not the same one as what you pinpointed as yours.
Okay.
Main event of the night, which we'll briefly cover because we have to, was Sid against Hulk Hogan. Mm-hmm. Shite ending. Mm-hmm. Papa Shango was sent out to the ring late, whatever.
It was that one, yes.
Absolute dross. Ultimate Warrior comes out. It's a big scene at the end.
Yeah.
But the WWF title match was halfway through the show.
Yes.
And that WWF title match between Ric Flair with Randy Savage against
With him.
against Randy Savage for the honour of his wife Elizabeth.
Yes.
Really, again, it drew you in.
I love this.
Talk to me about it.
I freaking love this. Give me a story. Like, honestly, give me a story and I'm invested. Especially as I was already Team Savage anyway.
You were very much Team Savage.
By this point, I was in. So then give me a little bit of story. It's like a little soap opera. And I'm involved. I'm invested. Automatically didn't like Ric Flair.
For me, from my perspective, the first half of the match was slow. It felt like they were unfamiliar with each other. It felt a bit stilted. Second half of the match, really, really good.
Yeah.
But it started off with that shite with Flair like walking down the aisle. The ref then rang the bell to start the match at that point. Perfect's grabbed Savage by the face and dragging him around, like no disqualifications. Like, okay, so nothing matters.
Yes.
The blade job,
I mean, yes.
which got Flair fined significantly.
Good.
And after the match, Savage cuts one of the most ludicrous and outrageous promos we've ever seen.
I love it.
And you always had been a fan, well, not always had been a fan, but for a while now, an established period of time, you liked what Randy Savage brought to the table.
Yes.
Now you liked what he took away from the table.
I just love it.
That flopped out his mouth.
I can't, I'm sorry. I will now sit on, like, Instagram now recommends me watching old promos. And you know what? I love it. I fucking love it.
Do you know how, like, all joking aside, just funny enough, just in between these takes, I said I hadn't said anything nice for a while. There'll be a little bit of something nice.
Careful.
No, it's fine, you'll be fine. But to me, hearing you say something like that, it gets me here because I was so concerned. Because obviously the podcast was your idea.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
It was your idea.
No, it was,
Flat out your idea, but that's fine, that's great. Because even if I thought of it, I'd be like, I wouldn't have even mentioned it because I didn't think you would have liked to do it. I know that our era is Attitude Era. I say ours like our mutual standpoint is the Attitude Era. We know that's our safe spot. I'm comfortable with the older stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were.
I wouldn't be,
So with you saying that now you get this kind of stuff recommended to you.
To hear that I'm fully on board with some older people.
Because to me I think like, oh, now I can see this going on and being a proper thing, the podcast, which is great because I really enjoyed the time. Sometimes, doing the notes isn't the most fun thing to do, but I always push through because I think, but I always enjoy the recording and like spending this time doing this kind of stuff. So you sitting there and saying,
be very careful, don't be too nice.
You sitting there and saying that you watch this old stuff, it honestly,
good.
Yeah, it really makes me happy. That's fine. That wasn't too nice, was it?
No, we're okay now.
You good?
Eyes are dry. We're fine.
Okay, fine. But going back to the match, we talked about Ric Flair's blade job. Yes. He got fined. There was another blade job on the night in a match that was my particular favourite because you scored the Flair Savage match really highly.
I really
what was it again? Have you got it there?
4.25.
There you go. I could probably scroll through to be fair and see exactly what I gave it, but it's going to eat up a little bit of time, which I don't really want to do. Although I have got there, so I've managed to filibuster my way through to actually. Oh my god! How many notes? 3.5 stars I gave to this match.
So almost a point difference.
Not on the same match. I'm talking about the one that I really liked.
What was that?
That was Roddy Piper against Bret the Hitman Hart.
Cool.
You liked the match.
Yeah, probably did. I just don't remember.
You just don't want to give me anything back, do you? See,
no.
Someone's nice to her and she has to throw the walls up and all that good stuff. But this match was really good. We talk about story and it gets you hook, line and sinker. This one had me. Really well told between two top wrestlers. And it was just brilliantly done. They even fooled the people backstage by saying that the blade job wasn't a blade job, it was hard way. They thought about it going into the match. It was really well done, and it's one of the few times in the WWF where Roddy Piper willingly lost clean and had Bret the Hitman Hart beat him for the Intercontinental title. And to me, that earmarks him as the next big champion coming through. Also on this card, we didn't mention him earlier, and we should have done. At WrestleMania 7, we saw the debut of The Undertaker.
Oh, yeah.
As he went up against Superfly. And Holly, genuinely, even though she knows the streak was a thing, didn't know who won that.
So dumb. My little brain.
In this match, or in this show, he's got a different proposition in Jake the Snake Roberts. not a bad match, not a great match, but also Jake was very much 1 foot out of the door already.
Yeah.
Before the match, he'd basically said, unless you
do this,
release me, I'm
done.
not going out there.
Fine.
So, like I said, it wasn't bad. But I remember one of the things I read after the event, I believe that they were very annoyed that he allowed The Undertaker to hit the tombstone on him on the floor on the outside. I don't know why that seemed to be such a stickler. I don't know. It was quite.
I don't like it, but okay, why?
Quite a risky move, I guess, for back then. And The Undertaker did win shortly after, so I don't know why it was that big of a deal. But I know that they didn't like the fact that that took place. So the streak is well and truly underway.
Yes.
Again, it's another person that you're familiar with. Maybe not this iteration.
A
of The
little,
Undertaker?
but not a lot.
No, you'll probably start to get familiar with him around 97,
When
I
he
would
starts
say.
to ride his bike.
Okay, so that's like 2001.
No, I'm joking. No, I
But-
do know him before that, but...
As the American Deadass,
Oh,
don't worry, we'll have many of those shows to cover.
I'm waiting for the one where Limp Bizkit perform, I'll be honest.
That is 2002. No, it's not. It's 2003. WrestleMania 19.
Okay.
And that's a handicap match.
Hey.
Another one that I've seen a lot because I've got it on DVD, where he goes up against The Big Show and Nathan Jones.
Oh.
Who?
Sure, we'll get there.
We'll get there. He's a big, bald, muscly lad. You'll probably be fine with it.
Okay, yeah, sure.
What do they call him? Oh, it doesn't matter. It's not a Nathan Jones show,
No.
Scott. Also on the show, we get introduced to Lex Luger, the narcissist, who has a narcissist, as Heenan would call him. And well, I really don't want to. I was just thinking about this match. Slaughter, Bossman, Virgil, and Duggan. And we like Duggan, friend of the show.
Yeah.
But, the Mountie, the Nasty Boys,
There was a
Repo
lot
Man.
of dross.
just not the one.
not for
not
me.
the one at all. Overall, the show, I think you thought was okay.
Yes, I did actually, but I feel like it carried again.
Very much so, being
Yeah.
carried by those two matches, because even though it wasn't my favourite match of the card, it was definitely the
Of course.
second best match of the night.
Oh.
This actually is well worth noting upon that this was Shawn Michaels' debut singles match at
Yes,
WrestleMania,
it was.
and we
I
heard
liked that.
we got the wonderful.
I started to get a little bit invested.
You did,
I did start to.
regardless of the hairdo.
Yeah, I'll let
Sherry
that
in his
slide.
corner, was she at this point?
I think because isn't she singing the?
Yeah,
The
I think
tune.
I think she is. You're right. But also we get the infamous now on the show Booger story
Yes,
that
of course.
Tito treated us to. So thank you very much
Love
again for
that.
that one, Tito. That's fantastic. Not the best, not the worst.
No,
We move on
fine.
to questionably the worst
The
WrestleMania
most comedic.
to date as we land on WrestleMania 9. I'm going to start off with a very open question.
Oh God.
Is WrestleMania 9 the worst WrestleMania we've seen? Is it in contention?
Yes.
It's in contention.
Yes.
I think a lot of your high points from this, and probably mine as well, is the early goings of certain individuals coming out from behind the backstage area, I guess you want to call it, in this makeshift venue near Caesar's Palace.
Yes.
We've got Macho Man coming out on a sedan,
Yes.
being fed grapes,
Love it.
Looking-
Absolutely loved it.
outrageously good in that
Dapper.
gear.
Dapper
Only
as
real
well.
men can dress like that and it be acceptable.
I know.
And we get Heenan coming out backwards on a camel.
Dumb.
What?
Dumb but funny.
It's brilliant. Heenan is so... That's the one regret I've got from the show, is that you haven't got on
No,
board
I
with
haven't.
Heenan properly
Not yet.
yet.
There's still time.
There is, but
it's
you haven't
not-
seen his best stuff yet. But
Unlikely.
huh?
It's unlikely.
Unlikely. Going straight over my knee after this one, I tell you. The matches, the show.
Yeah. No.
Oh, we did get a
No.
debut. Razor Ramon
Yes.
against Big Bouncing Booty Backlund.
We did, but it was just nothing else was giving for me. And it was the whole, there's two main events. It's these people. I don't care.
Speaking of two main
Okay.
events, which there wasn't. There wasn't two main events.
It says here that there was two, which is Bret Hart and Yokozuna, and it was billed as being Hogan and Brutus versus Money Inc.
We're calling that a
being
double
two.
main.
I
Fine.
don't give a shit.
Good job we're doing a podcast.
No, but as in, I didn't make it up. I'm just saying.
Speaking of double doink from behind.
Oh, you can fuck off. I'd forgotten about
We've
that.
got Doink McLeod.
I'd really fucking forgotten about that.
What a gift.
No.
What a gift.
No, thank you.
Shawn Michaels against Tatanka. That was long. Debut of the Steiners at WrestleMania.
Okay. Yes.
Against the Islanders, the Head Shrinkers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fine. Yep.
So I think, was that the debut of future Rikishi as well for a
I think so,
WrestleMania?
yeah.
And the streak. So the streak has had many highs. It's had many lows. Does it get lower than Giant Gonzalez?
Oh yeah, of course, it was that one, wasn't it?
All we know is that he wasn't all bad, because at the end of it, he chokeslammed fucking Whistleman for you. So you've had two really good things.
Small mercies.
Chokeslam from Giant Gonzalez on Whistleman, and a chair to the fucking face from earlier.
Poor guy, but no.
Great.
Fucking whistle out your mouth, dickhead.
We saw Mr. Perfect
Livid.
against Lex Luger.
Oh, yeah.
That wasn't good.
No.
That wasn't good at all.
Yeah, it wasn't the best, but I had been pre-warned it wasn't the best.
Yeah, that's true.
And actually that was fine. But I'll be honest, and I know you probably don't feel the same way, for me, this was okay.
4 was worse.
Because of my guy on commentary. He made it for me.
Shawn Michaels, I know why he's here. WrestleMania 9. Fantastic.
It makes no sense.
No.
But I love him for it. And he got me through this.
Well,
so I thank him greatly.
Well, yeah, God bless you, Savage, for that. The main event, Yokozuna and Bret Hart on paper, cool. In reality,
Yes.
and then
Anticlimactic?
what comes out afterwards? What comes out? Who comes out afterwards?
What comes out?
What follows and who comes out afterwards? We get Hulk Hogan having... Well, I guess he won earlier in the match, or earlier in the night in the tag title match, although he didn't win the tag titles because it was disqualification or some schmoz finishing that no one cared about. And then he started handing out money to the crowd, although I'm pretty sure Brutus was pocketing most of that. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I remember.
He comes out.
Yeah, of course he does.
Mr. Fuji, because he's
Makes
got...
it all about him.
He does. Mr. Fuji, with his Yokozuna, he's got bollocks of steel, this man, because he puts the title on the line. Yokozuna's like, fucking hell. I just had a nerve hold on for 25 minutes.
Yes.
I just want to go back and have some turkey
hug.
anus backstage. What's going on?
Jesus.
Straight into the match. Done. Hogan walks away with the champion with a black eye.
Don't care.
What a shit show. Was this worse than the ending of 8? Because that's tough, because 8 had Warrior come out at the end.
Yes, this was worse.
He's already gone again.
Yeah, I think this was worse, actually.
Just the... Oh, dear.
I think by this point I was really also done with Hogan. Like, stop making it about you.
Yep.
We're done.
Unfortunately, we are done with him until 18.
Good-o.
So he gets back in.
That's still a breather.
I think there is another WrestleMania match. I think 19 he's on as well. But after that, I think we're done with Hogan. But...
Oh, God.
But...
Yes.
There's one more left.
Oh, isn't there just?
And we have had some, like I said, we've had highs, we've had lows. We've had WrestleMania 2, 4 and 9.
Mm-hmm.
But was it the best saved till last? WrestleMania 10. I'm taking a punt. I'm not pausing because we saw this very recently.
Straight in, okay.
I'm going to be...
Okay.
I'm going straight in, no spit. We're going hard, we're going fast.
God, free balling.
Exactly, always.
Whew.
Works for both parties.
Okay.
It's fresh in the memory.
Sure.
We start with an opener. Bret Hart, Owen Hart, brother versus brother.
Yes, this was the one you thought would be my 5-star match.
And we were close.
Yeah, we were close.
We were close.
But no cigar.
It was my first 5-star WrestleMania match.
Yes, it was.
It wasn't the only 5-star WrestleMania match for me on the night. No. I can't quite recall what you gave it.
Very close, 4.5.
Exactly.
Very close. It wasn't far off at all.
I just
very
thought
much so enjoy
the way that they worked together was brilliant. Again, the story they told, the athleticism,
amazing.
No real cock-ups that I can recall.
No.
I think there may be one actually, but either way, phenomenal. Best WrestleMania opening we're likely to ever get.
Perfect start.
I don't know if we'll get a better WrestleMania opening than that.
Okay.
I mean, we've got a lot still left to go through. We've got another, 29, and by the time we get there, probably 30.
Probably about 70 by that point, but yeah.
And still looking great. But on the night, there was one match for you that stole the show.
Yeah, of course it did.
Stole your heart.
Oh, it did.
What was the match?
Oh, it was HBK and Razor Ramon.
In?
Oh, a ladder match. Who'd have fucking thought it?
For?
Oh,
the Intercontinental title.
Some title.
What was it about that match that spoke to you?
I bloody loved it. It was genius. It wasn't what I thought it would be either, because I didn't have a clue it was a ladder match at all.
The ladder's not give it away.
No, but like before, do you know what I mean? be a dick. But do you know what I mean? Like before, and also there wasn't ladders; it was ladder. There was only one.
Fair point. I'll get back on my box.
Thank you. I bloody loved it. These two together really worked for me. It helps that I was minorly entertained by each individual. Honestly, though, Razor does... His character is ridiculous for me. Pulls me right in. Plays it so perfectly well. And he does so much by doing so little.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. And I just was very invested. And actually, what I saw in that match, so impressed.
And you gave it 5 stars.
Perfect score.
I also gave it 5 stars, but that was Holly's first ever 5-star. Not just in the March Through the Mania series.
No, my ever.
Your first
ever.
And this...
That was my 5-star cherry.
And this was in 1994. Bet you didn't think you'd be giving a 5-star match in 1994. Overall on the card, we also saw a swan song, a WrestleMania swan song, and this makes you sad. You say, I giveth and I taketh away. Mm-hmm. And on this occasion, I taketh away Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh, so sad. So sad.
As he had a Falls Count Anywhere match with
sad.
Crush.
Yeah, that was the most confusing match ever, but...
Yeah, the
it
pin him
logically
outside.
made no sense. Tie him up by a rope, run away.
Well, that was basically how the match ended, spoiler alert, but yeah, basically
Oh,
pin him for 30 seconds outside, get back to the ring.
Logically confused me, but...
Not pin him for 30 seconds, that's mad. Pin him for 3 seconds, then they've got 30 seconds.
That's challenging.
Fuck me, that'd be boring, wouldn't it? Could you imagine the near falls there? Oh, he kicked out of 29!
Yeah, that's, to be fair, that is... I always joke and say you giveth and take away, but that... It was kind of bittersweet, being like, fucking love that match. Oh, no, I don't get him anymore.
Fortunately, we immediately hit him again on the first episode of Nitro.
Yes,
so
thank God.
We haven't gone a long spell yet without Macho Man.
Yeah, it's a bit sad.
And as we come forward in the WrestleManias, I can actually start to delve back and pick out shows that have got these people in.
Yes.
Because it's not 2 old shows in a row for you, which is a very much hard and fast Holly rule.
Yes, thank you.
Although Bash at the Beach Blast 92 kind of went against that, but we'll overlook
That's
Keith's
fine.
choice in this instance.
That was fine.
Is it safe to say, well, I know it is,
Mm-hmm.
this is the best WrestleMania you've seen so far?
Without a shadow of a doubt, because I gave it 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Who am I? 8 out of 10.
I know, for a 1994 show.
I'm generous.
Weren't you just? And this is a show that had Yokozuna against Lex Luger in it.
I know.
God almighty, Mr. Perfect being the ref. You enjoyed that as well, actually.
I weirdly did, didn't I? Yeah.
Yeah, we had Piper, special guest reffing, which became a theme for him.
There was very minimal stuff in 10 that I didn't enjoy.
Men on a Mission?
I think I was piqued by many things here, so we just keep soaring for me, I think.
I love the fact that on a show with Men on a Mission it got 8 out of 10. I think that's brilliant.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. This is entirely your prerogative. And it's also, there's a show that had Doinkin and Dink that got 8 out of 10.
Yeah, but...
Bam Bam, Luna Vachon, Alundra Blaze, the first time, it's worth noting, this is the first time we've had a women's title match since, was it WrestleMania 2?
Yeah.
With Fabulous Moolah?
Mm-hmm.
And that was awful. Against, Velvet McIntyre. There you go, got the name in the end.
Good.
But,
yes,
we're now a quarter of the way through the journey.
So far, yeah.
So far.
If only they would pause so we could catch up a little bit, but never mind.
What are your thoughts overall? How have you found it in general?
What, the last 10?
Yeah, how have you found it in general?
Some have been more enjoyable than others, obviously, because that's life.
That's what the people say.
Exactly. But it's been interesting. Like, there was some earlier on that I genuinely thought I would hate. And to be honest, even the ones that were shite, I haven't hated. Like, I hate the word hate in that sense. Like, it's such a strong word. Have I enjoyed some of them? No. Do I hate them? No.
Whistle Man.
Oh, it really pains me. Really, really drives me insane. Like, anyway.
Jimmy Hart.
Yeah.
Just incredible.
Oh, it drives me fucking loopy.
X-Pac.
Oh, I feel so bad because he drives me mad by doing nothing.
X-Pac heat.
There's no reason.
That's X-Pac heat for you right
annoying.
there.
But, no, it's been good. I'm happy to shut the book on 10 of them and move on to the next 10 and see how they compare.
In theory, we should be getting into your sweet spot.
We really should soon.
We go from 94 to 2004.
Don't we just?
So we know we're going to hit, that's the whole Attitude Era is going to be encompassed in the next 10.
This is my time.
Yeah, this is your
It's
time.
coming.
But the rest after that as well, you'll You'll be good.
There'll be definitely. I mean,
the hardest part of the journey's done.
Yeah. You've told me there's a really rough one coming though.
Yeah, well, in 27.
Oh, we've got about time.
Yeah, we've got a year.
Quite a while.
We've got no, seriously. So what would that be? 17,
please,
so 16, 32. So 32 weeks. So about 2/3 of a year.
I was being 45 by then. Brilliant.
But looking 21.
Oh, thanks. That's so kind.
So you're optimistic about what the rest of this March Through the Mania series has in store?
I like to remain optimistic. There will be dross. I am under no illusion. But I'm also hoping... Who knows what my next 5... Have you bet on what my next 5-star match is?
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah.
What, both of you? Or just you?
I have.
Okay. I'll be intrigued.
But I think Jamie would go for the same one as me.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, I'm confident, in fact.
Wow. Very confident.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll
I've
have to
got
put something on the line for
Scooby-Doo,
it.
so yeah, you will. Both of you in unitards.
Yeah, well, that's what we're doing at the next Progress.
Perfect. Amazing.
So, as well, you've got your role to fill in that as well, don't forget.
Sure. Okay.
So hopefully everyone, you enjoyed that little recap, the revisit of the first 10 March Through the Mania episodes.
Yeah.
We didn't pick highlights out of it particularly. In terms of I didn't chop up the episodes and put something together, which in hindsight I probably could have done, to be fair, and saved us a job. But put some fresh content out there for people. Nice chance for us to revisit stuff because, as Holly said, her memory is absolutely piss poor at the best of times.
Bad.
And I really threw some curveballs at her there, but hopefully we got over the line. And
I'm a couple of beers down, so I'm impressed that I've held it on this long.
A couple's a way of saying 3. It's a couple when you're already drunk. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed that. Like I said, you've had some benefit from listening to our thoughts about the shows that we've already covered.
Yeah.
There's going to be we're recording this ahead of time. We're going to be doing one more recording shortly, actually, and not today. You'll find nothing to prepare for.
Thank you.
So we'll be ahead of the curve for the next few weeks when we're both pretty busy.
Yep.
Until it will be 33. The next one.
Gosh,
wow.
All the threes.
33. I don't know what that is in bingo, so I'm not going to. 33. Okay, so until episode 33, we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.
Until next time, this has been a Win Twice Wrestling production. Peace out.